Hello.
I am Nicholas, and this is Kevin.
Yes, sir.
And
Yeah, this is our first episode, man. Exciting stuff. Exciting stuff. and yeah, I guess like the purpose of this podcast is more like it's based around those like 3 a.m. questions that you get in the night when like those that just keep you awake.
That's a great way of summing
or
it
like
up.
just those
I
shower
like that.
thoughts,
I like that
right?
analogy.
Yeah, just shower thoughts, and then rather than just leaving them there, we go a bit deeper. So yeah, that's what this show is about. Hope you guys will enjoy it. And yeah. So shall we just move on to our
let's
topic
move on to the main topic.
Right. So episode 1, perspectives. The discussion topic for today is how is reality influenced by our perspective?
Right.
Yeah. So we have a few points. We're not completely raw dogging this episode. We have come prepared. Yeah, take it away.
Preparation is key.
Let's introduce a train of thought. So
a train of thought before we delve into the points. There's one specific thing I think we should tackle first. What is perspective? Let's just get that meaning.
Okay.
Settled at least for the discussion.
All right. Yeah.
So, at least for me, perspective. It's a combination of culture, the way you live your life, and as well as maybe a belief system that you follow of some sort.
So in the sense, perspective includes those things.
Includes all of those things.
Okay,
yeah, it's a combination of all that stuff. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess like the easiest way to just go about it is perspective is the way you view the world.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is, as you said, influenced by your background, which includes beliefs and all of that. So yeah, how about we go with the definition of reality in this case as well?
Ooh, that's also a good one.
Because that's something that we need to settle.
You can take this one away.
All right. So I guess in this aspect, when we say reality, we don't mean like physical reality as in like the laws of physics. Obviously, our perspective doesn't defy the laws of physics, at least not yet.
Yeah, we're not at that level yet. We're not doctorates. We're not doctorates.
Yeah. But we mean more in the sense of like what? Subjective reality?
Like opinions?
Not per se. Like I think we did this the last time that we did this. We said like in someone else's reality who lives in like Brazil or something. We don't exist.
Oh, okay. I know what you mean.
Which is like if we say like, so I guess like if we say reality, obviously 8 billion people exist at the same time. But then for each person, only the people in his or her life actually exist. Like it doesn't make a difference what everything else.
The other, exactly. I gotcha.
Happens. So, like not even people, like a plane crash incident happened somewhere in the world. It doesn't really affect us.
Right.
So it's not in our bubble, so to speak. So that bubble is what we mean by reality in this context.
Makes sense. No disagreements.
So that literally just puts us right into the first point, which is perception versus objective reality. So, okay,
what specific? Yeah, that's what I was going to say. What specifically about that? Those two things.
Yeah, so I'll just read this off. It's like how much of what we experience is filtered through our existing beliefs and biases, and like consider optical illusions and how like two people can witness the same event but recall it differently. So like how much really is filtered through, as it said, how we experience things?
I say everything. I don't think there is any sort of exception. Like even facts, I'd say it's still filtered through that. Through those beliefs, perspectives, or culture, or your background, and like everything.
Yeah, no, but how much of that makes a meaningful difference in the sense that, Like a
Okay,
fact
that's a
is a
better
fact
question. Yeah, got it.
because it is accepted by everybody
Right.
the same way.
Right.
So how much of a meaningful difference does it make after that filtration? Like for example, to make this easier, let's say we attended Harbor Lights quite recently.
Right.
So like obviously you experienced that event in your way, and I experienced that event in my way.
Right.
But we both were together.
Right.
So yeah, let's just use that situation and see objective versus perceptive. So firstly, we'll start with objective. How would you objectively describe the event?
What did we do before the Harbor Lights? We
went to the tennis place.
Yeah, we just went to the tennis place, walked around, and then walked towards the Harbor Light. We saw the concert, total meme.
Yeah.
And then
witnessed an amazing sunset.
Yeah. And yeah, after like an hour.
So it was objectively fun, you would say.
Yeah, well, for me it was fun, but I don't know if you can say what objective.
Okay, yeah,
right?
fair,
That doesn't.
Okay,
really
objectively it was lively.
Okay, yeah, that you can say.
Yeah,
that you can say.
So
yes.
yeah, it was
objectively
lively.
Yes.
But perceptively fun.
Yeah, we enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We had a fun time going to the Harbor Lights. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's just one case of example. Like, I got like 2 quotes here. Let's discuss more. We tend to judge. Okay, so this is more going towards our perception of people than reality.
Oh, still, go for it.
But yeah, so we tend to judge others by their behavior and ourselves by our intentions. So that kind of dichotomy between how we see others versus how we see ourselves.
Yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Because
And,
I was thinking of like those Hollywood
Hmm.
cliches where there's somebody tries to do something for a good intention, but it has negative consequences.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, me and my friend actually, we were also having this conversation last night, so, coincidentally. But I was talking about more like for myself, like people obviously are their harshest critic,
Right.
and especially in my case, like I am unreasonably hard on myself,
Right.
most of the time. And we were discussing, I don't remember exactly what that specific topic was. I think it was on love or something like that, but then again, that's another episode. But yeah, I was saying that sometimes I wish I could see who I am through other people's eyes, in the sense like how other people view me. I wish that I could see myself through that, in the sense that like I wish I could see myself how my parents see me, or how my best friend sees me, or how you see me, or whatever. Because obviously you don't know all of the thoughts that go in my head, and all of the the quote unquote bad stuff that happens inside, and neither do I of you. So you obviously see me for what comes out rather than what goes inside. And yeah, so he was just saying, in that context, yes, I mean, I am a really good person or whatever. And I was like, fair enough, but I don't believe that, because not that I'm not a good person. I know I'm a good person, but like
you didn't handle that scenario well, or like you didn't do it.
No, I'm imperfect. I'm imperfect.
Okay.
Be a good person. Like I wouldn't. People say I'm a good person. I wouldn't say I'm a good person.
Okay.
I say I'm a good person. Like I wouldn't make too much of a big deal out of it. So that way. But then sometimes when I'm down and low, I wish I could see myself as I'm a good person. So like, why am I sad about this? Or why am I troubled by this? Or whatever it is. So yeah, so that's one example of how obviously I judge myself by my intentions. But then say when it comes to me judging you or whatever, like I would say you are a very well-rounded individual, very balanced in everything that you do.
Thank you.
Yeah. And and yeah, that comes from seeing your different actions and stuff that you do and
Right.
the way you carry yourself. So yeah, but like yeah, any thoughts from your side on that?
Because something came to mind
Mm.
about how it's a combination of what objectively happened and how it made you feel,
Okay.
plus your biases and all the other stuff
Uh-huh.
that affect how you remember that memory and how it sticks to you.
Okay.
Right.
Mm.
And yeah,
Oh, fair. Yeah.
that's what I think. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And do you think this is something that people need to work on better? And even if they can, is it really possible to work on it?
Oh, like you can always. I think so. Yeah, I think you can always work for it. Like, I can think of like specific triggers some people have. So they can always take a step back, reflect, why is that triggering me, and then look at the objective reality, see is that really a negative thing or not, and then just continue that cycle of continuous reflection, and then
Fair. Yeah, and also I think when it like comes to judging others as well, we've spoken about this before. Like when we were younger, I think it's stronger when we are younger that we like solely judge people based on their behavior.
yeah,
Right? Like if someone's a jerk, he's a jerk. I don't wanna be friends with him.
yeah,
But then of course we also talked about how later on now as we've grown up, we're more on like, okay, what's his intentions, not intentions, but what's the past attached to his behavior.
right,
Like, is he objectively a bad person, or is it because he's a bad person in that situation because of something that affected him in that situation or whatever it is, right?
So yeah, I just came up with something. Yeah, so I guess an objective reality is really hard to get because you don't never really have the full picture or all of the information, right?
Yeah.
So most of the time it feels like we really are just going based off our
Perceived
subjective
reality.
and perceived realities anyways, right?
Yeah. And I mean, would you say that it's like that that perceived reality is fragile?
Yeah, because it can always be challenged. It really depends on the person and how they take that challenge, whether that perceived reality will or that broken reality, let's say, will affect them negatively or positively, right?
Yeah.
But I say yes, it can always be challenged, it can always be broken, because we keep living and we keep getting new information, new experiences, meeting new people, and all those variables are definitely gonna change someone's perceived reality. It's inevitable.
Yeah.
Right. I'd say it would be arrogant for you to think that your perceived reality will never
of course,
change.
of course.
Right.
Yeah. But that's so. But how do we still keep peace of mind knowing that our reality is so fragile? Like, take it in the
That's a good question.
Yeah, like take it in the negative sense, like in the sense that if someone does something that like shatters you, how are we as people able to move on? I'm not asking whether we can move on. We can move on, but how is it that we do move on like that? If like how we live life on a day-to-day basis is so fragile.
I don't know. Well, my first intuition answer is just they just live with it, I guess. They just live with it. They try to figure out how to adapt to that new or that new perceived reality and just live with it. Because there is no other way. Because it's either that or you just stay in this stuck reality of where you're trying to prove your old perceived reality, but then it gets broken again, and then you just don't move anywhere or go anywhere or do anything.
Is there anything you can add from, because obviously I think you would have like more experience with this in the sense that your perceived reality always changed throughout your childhood, given that you kept moving from place to place to place.
Yeah.
So how did kid Nick adapt? Obviously, I think it's not something that we really like consciously think about that much. So that is also one part of it. We don't consciously think about it. But then, yeah, I guess as you said, we just live, and I guess it's just cool that we as humans put enough faith in our perceptions to go on living peacefully, and then when they change, we just adapt.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. Like another thing that I think that fully ties into this is like birds. So there's a saying or a quote that birds born in a cage think flying is an illness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So again, about perceptive reality, right? Because you're brought up, or because in this case that bird is brought up in that environment. I wouldn't really call seeing flying as an illness, but it'd be very strange.
Oh no, for sure.
Right? Yeah. Like the bird would be like, what are they doing? Like how is that possible? What's going on?
Yeah, of course.
It's like us seeing people walking on air or something. Yeah. And we're like, what?
They're suddenly airbenders.
Yeah. Reference. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess to like properly gift wrap it into an answer would be that a lot of reality, or almost all of it, is perceived reality, right?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. So yeah, so I guess now let's go deeper.
Sure.
So we are gonna go with sharing reality. So this is now we're involving other people.
Oh, so now like a society or like a community.
Yeah. So social constructionism. So how do shared perspectives create social realities? And like, money, borders, institutions that have real world effects despite being human constructs. And like that, it's a question that I've always asked sometimes mainly when I'm frustrated with finances. That, I'm like, how does money affect us so much when we created it? Like, what's going on? And then even when I try to learn financials and like how the stock exchange works, or like how does different concepts work, I'm like, bro, we created this. Why did we have to make it so complex?
Yeah, why do we have to become a slave to it? Yeah, because that's what we are now, right?
Yeah,
slaves to money.
Yeah. But then on the other end, we can't really just get rid of it either. So yeah, but yeah. So how do you think that like shared perspectives have effects?
Because shared perspectives, I feel like it's more to do with our just innate want to be part of a community, right? Because that's how we survived, to be by being part of communities. And I feel like a shared community or a shared perspective is just part of our survival instincts. Everybody has this innate perspective or this shared perspective, and you're just one that has a different one. You're completely, or at least feels like you're completely separate from you're isolated from that community. So I feel like it would influence you a lot to either fully abandon that shared community and separate yourself from it, or fully integrate into it. Right.
Fair. Yeah. 1 second. Hold on. Something water in my nose. It's getting my nerves. Anyway. Yeah. No, I agree.
So it's like it's like a part of. So it's like another variable to our previous question, basically.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I think bringing it a bit into a simpler way. Um, do you remember that example of me and you getting into a fight and then
Oh yeah, I remember that.
yeah. So okay, for the listeners, because this is the first time they are listening to it. So we came up with this scenario where Nick and I were fighting, right? And we were deeply offended uh, by each other, by what we said, right, in this scenario. And then we here are part of a friend group, or I mean, have a bunch of mutual friends, and we were discussing whether who would we approach in that case to, or first of all, would we even approach anybody um, to discuss this matter before we resolved it, and if we did, who would it be? So that was the scenario. So when we went a bit deeper into it, we were talking about how obviously that third party would only know one side of the story because only one person is sharing it,
Right.
unless obviously both of them, like in this
they
case
get
me
both
and,
of those perspectives.
yeah, in this case like me and Nick both share it to the same person at different times, but then again that it went deeper into that the third party would make their own interpretation of both of our events, right? So that's like a example of that whole shared reality thing.
Oh, that's yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and I just find it really fascinating how, like, obviously it's a metaphysical concept that we can't, at least at our current intelligence, we can't dive too deep into it. But then I do find it fascinating how humans, as social creatures, work through that, in the sense that, like in this particular example, even though it's not objective or factual, whatever the third party's advice is or whatever he says, but then it's still helpful advice, or like obviously it depends on the advice that he gives.
Yeah.
But in this case, let's say that's a helpful advice. It is born from his perspective of that situation, and then of course we implement that advice, and then hopefully everything's resolved between the two of us. And that's just how human society works, like in general. And yeah, it really kind of, I guess, makes you question stable how stable really is, like, rational logic per se, because society is definitely not based on rational logic, but it's one of the most, if not the most strongest force that is on the planet right now. You know?
Yeah. I get that.
Like, I mean,
but I feel like rational logic doesn't really come from reality. More so, I lost the word. More so concepts that we made up, or at least the foundation of logic becomes like concept. Like 1 + 1 is 2, right? Like, I guess that could also come from real life. You know, like, this is one thing, this is another one. You have two things.
Yeah.
Right, but like even then, like you see like mathematicians trying to solve or proving 1 + 1, right? So I feel like a lot of rational logic comes from concepts that we made up ourselves, not necessarily from life or. But then observations like science.
Yeah, like, isn't that directly contradictory to the definition of rational logic?
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's exactly my point. That, like, you know, how stable or like how strong really is rational? Because we always say that not following, but like making decisions with your brain is better than making decisions with your heart. And, like, you know, logic always trumps emotions or feelings and all of that. But then the entire construct of society and just the human race, as we discuss now, is majoritarily based on these perceived, notions and thoughts and
Yeah.
observations and such.
Yeah.
It really doesn't have much to do with rational logic in that sense.
Exactly.
So I think that like that disparity between rational logic and perceived perceived logic or like subjective logic, it's not that big of a gap, I would say.
Right.
I still think rational logic is slightly better just because it's more objective and it's useful in some case. It's more useful in some cases.
Right, but
it's like a very, very small higher up. That is my personal opinion. But
right.
Yeah.
It is so weird. I just thought of something, right? So we have the objective reality, but then what about? Because there's definitely like an objectively better option always. I feel like.
Yes.
Or maybe not. There are some.
But again,
weird
I mean.
Ones,
yeah, there's like
there's
obviously
always,
there's like a
there's
huge
always some
caveat
weird
to
ones,
everything that we say, especially when it comes to like because I feel like perspective is such a it's such a founding stone of what we call reality in the first place. Right? But we're only now realizing that. Like we always thought that reality is set in stone. Like whatever it is, it is.
Like it is, but the issue is that
it is. But
we
like
see
the
so
way
many
that we
different
experience
things.
life,
Exactly.
which is in the end what matters, obviously, is based on perception. So, yeah, and I mean it's because like let's say, just to like drive this home further. For example, let's take what. Name a course from like last year that we had together.
Mechanics.
Okay, mechanics. I hated mechanics.
Oh yeah.
But you.
It was fine for me.
Yeah, it was fine for you. You found it fine. So, engineering mechanics is objectively a course that was taken by all engineering students, but the major consensus was that everybody hates the course. The minor consensus, which you were part of, is that it's a fine course. I mean, we don't have a problem with it. Fair enough. So that disparity itself, it's not like the way that whole experience of learning engineering mechanics is now set in stone because it's the past.
Right.
But it's solely based on our perception. Like you have a better memory of learning mechanics than I do. Right? But then if anybody, like some stranger came up, let's say a fresher came up to you now, was like, how was engineering mechanics one? You're going to be like, yeah, it was not bad. It was not bad. But if they come to me, I'm like no, it's the nightmare. It's the worst thing that you could ever possibly go through. It's exaggeration. It's not. But yeah. So...
Because the things that keeps coming to my brain is that even though a lot of, or all of it, everything that we experience is subjective, it seems like we can still make objective conclusions, which is the weird bit, right? Because like, for example, come back to example, we can objectively say that there is a mechanics course and that, I don't know, 300 students took that course. And we can objectively say that some students didn't like it, some students did. And we can even bring up like a chart and put numbers there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What's up with that? I don't know where I was going with this. It just keeps returning to my brain.
Do you think objectiveness in this case is just majority consensus? Like built upon majority consensus?
I mean, like, we can bring up like propaganda, stuff like that, but like, I guess so. But at the same time, maybe
because like
not.
I'm just thinking like not to get political, but like let's say Saddam Hussein, like in the past,
Mm.
right? At the time, obviously we weren't like alive that time, but from what I know. Everybody pretty much hated him because, I mean, they called him a dictator, yada yada, all that. And yeah, he did bad stuff and all of that. But then the people in Iran, and it was Iran, right? Not Iraq. Was it Iraq or Iran? I think it's Iran. But
I'm as lost as you are.
but like at the time, obviously the Iranians suffered.
Mm-hmm.
Let's, in this case, if it's Iraq, please like correct us in the comments. But I'm pretty sure it's Iran. But yeah, so Iranians obviously suffered under his rule. But then he, how would they put it? It was like he was a necessary evil to keep the other even worser evils at bay.
Right, but you can still objectively say that he did like
Exactly.
those other bad
No,
things,
exactly.
right?
That is, but that objection, I mean, that objective observation comes from majority consensus. Almost everybody in the world agreed that he did a bad thing, that he did bad things. Let's say in this case,
Because the thing is, I feel like if we do like a majority consensus, it feels like we're ignoring some of the objective conclusions that we can make, and we're just focusing on a particular one, but which I guess people, a lot of communities do, or like as a society we do that a lot actually.
yeah, I'm saying all of those other objective conclusions as well.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, for a very small minority in Iran, in this example, would have maybe seen him as a savior of sorts.
Okay.
I don't know. This is like just wild conjecture. I'm just saying in this example.
We're not historians.
Yeah, we're not historians. We don't know what exactly happened. But like in this, or okay, you know what? Forget Saddam Hussein. Let's just say like a leader, a leader, any leader. Just to like detach the name from it. Let's say there was a leader, there was a dictator or whatever, did a bunch of bad stuff. No, okay. This is getting political, but everybody will know who I'm talking about. World War II. There was a particular leader.
Two particular leaders.
But I'm talking about the major one.
The one.
Yeah, the one who did some very, very objectively bad things.
Right, okay, where are you going?
But then at the time, the people of that nation thought that it was justified. Which brings us back to your point of propaganda and such. So in their view, the people of the nation, that leader was objectively a savior of their race, right? But then in the rest of the world objectively saw him as a monster.
That's the thing. That's the trick. That's the really muddy line. Because I feel like the bit where you said objectively he's the leader or the savior of the race, I feel like that's supposed to be subjective, not objective.
Okay, yeah. So let's say subjectively. I'm saying like imagine yourself being a person in that country at the time. You know, being fed all this propaganda and all of that.
Right.
You would think that person is like
The savior.
the savior of that country, correct?
Right.
And then take yourself to being a person just in the general world who's reading what's going on. You objectively think that he's a bad person. Like he's a monster, whatever he's doing. And then obviously the war went its way.
Right.
And then so now our objective, what we call an objective observation, is that that person was a horrible human being.
Right.
Because of the majority consensus that he was a horrible human being.
Right. Man, this is such a tricky line, bro. Because where did my brain go? My brain went. It seems like we believe that we. There's also. It seems like there's also that we also believe that we're making objective conclusions when they're
Kind of
not.
like a placebo effect.
Exactly. Because
Yeah.
it seems like we're making objective conclusions when we're not, because of.
Or do you think it's the other way around? Do you think belief births objective observations rather than objective observations birthing belief?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying beliefs make us construct objections in our bubble. It seems like beliefs create objective.
So and then going back to social constructionism, so the majority who share that same belief would obviously be the one to establish that objective fact in the shared bubble.
Right.
So if we just expand that out, take it to the entire world, whatever the majority believes becomes objective fact at that point.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we would say it's majority opinion,
I
but
guess
then
so.
like the truth is it's treated as a fact, at least, even if it's not.
I guess I guess that makes sense. Yeah, even though it's a belief and not.
This episode is just going to plunge us into depression, getting to know how fragile our whole reality really runs on.
Everything's fragile, honestly.
But not as fragile as we thought.
Exactly, everything is fragile, but not as fragile as we think it is.
Yeah,
it's weird.
It's weird.
Life is weird.
And now to add another thing.
Go for it. This is what it's about. I can't say no because this is what it's about.
Yeah, but to complicate things further, language.
What the heck?
So the role of language in shaping reality. How does vocabulary that we have available influence how we perceive and interact with the world?
I say a lot.
Uh-huh.
It comes back to the general consensus because the language that we use also impacts how we think about that particular subject or that particular subject, which then in turn creates a belief, which then in turn creates our bubbled objective conclusion.
Yeah.
Right, so I think language is a huge part. Like even with a very recent example, climate change. Before it used to be called what was it? Global warming.
Yeah.
Right. Which one do you think is like, or which one do you think causes like a more negative reaction?
Global warming.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And recently, people have been using, or to say, corporations have been using climate change because it doesn't induce that.
Yeah, that panic.
That panic sort of reaction. Right.
Damn, global warming really just went through a rebrand without us even noticing.
It really did.
Yeah.
It really did.
Yeah, but that's a really good example of how language affects.
Yeah.
Language, and plus language as in language, like Spanish, English, Portuguese.
Oh,
whatever.
even that would be a more difficult topic to explore because we don't study languages.
Yeah.
But
of course, we're not linguists.
I would imagine, even so, it would have a similar effect.
I feel like that. So one single person would be like the basic unit of society. And that one person's bubble grows on into a community, and that community becomes a society, and that society becomes a country.
Right.
And countries become continents, and continents become the world, right? So I think in the larger sense, when it comes to continents and such, I don't think language in the sense language.
You mean like Spanish?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Shapes reality that much, coming back to the major consensus thing.
Oh, okay.
Because it's obviously
scale.
at that scale,
I guess so.
People do speak different languages, but then they have a talking about that leader, regardless of what language you spoke,
right?
You regard that person as a bad person,
right?
But then I guess in a smaller scale, country-wise, or even community-wise or society-wise, it really does affect. We see that especially in tribes as well. If two tribes just speak different languages, sometimes they just garner hate, towards each other because they share the same territory but they're not like us. And obviously that's the basis of racism as well. And stuff like that.
It's also the fact that a lot of languages are built on the foundation of a community's needs, right? So, for example, if a community does a lot of hunting, the language is going to be built around that. Basically. Damn.
Like I heard this one, I think it was a Trevor Noah show. I was just listening, and in the middle of one of his jokes, he was talking about languages. How, so like African languages, you open your mouth a lot and like you make big sounds.
Right.
But then in contrast, when he went to Sweden and he heard Swedish, it was like very minute closed mouth sounds, in the sense like you don't open your mouth that much.
Right.
And his hypothesis was that it's because of the climate, in the sense that because Africa is hot.
Could also be it, yeah.
Yeah, Africa's hot. It's more comfortable to just open your mouth and speak like that. But Sweden and like Norwegian countries, it's very cold. So during the winter, they wouldn't open their mouth as much.
Yeah,
that language is formed in that way.
Yeah, that could be or is a variable, that for sure.
Yeah.
It's such a weird cycle. You have objective reality creating beliefs, which creates our bubbled objective reality, which is actually subjective.
Yeah, but then that objective reality that stems beliefs from is almost non-existent because it gets filtered through our perception.
Exactly.
Through our beliefs. Yeah, it's, now it makes sense why it was so hard for people to accept new physics concepts.
Oh,
when it came out.
It's because of
this, yeah.
Of the general consensus thing.
Yeah. It makes way more sense now. But anyway, I mean,
I guess
think, like we pretty much covered everything. We went through placebo effect, cultural differences in perception. That's another thing that I guess you could shed more light on it, because you've witnessed like a lot of cultures, right? Like, how do you think? Because obviously life for you in those different places that you lived was very different.
I think it's very similar to languages, right? So if you put it in a grand scale, maybe tiny bit, but I don't think so. But when you localize it to communities, then yes, it changes, because different cultures, different values, and they value different things, even though we're all humans and we all have very similar needs. And there you can find similarities, but then I think that most of the difference is what they what they specifically focus on. Yeah.
Fair. Yeah. Again, it's more of a based on the environment type of thing, like the environment that they're in.
Exactly. It's more based around the environment.
Yeah. And then confirmation bias as well, like how we seek out information that confirms our
It's because of the general consensus thing.
Consensus thing. So confirmation bias. And then now to end this whole thing, let's go back to that whole fragile, like reality being fragile.
What about it?
Changing realities through changing perspectives. So like obviously you said that it can be.
It always is.
Yeah, it is very fragile because it keeps changing. So, obviously, us saying whether it's a good or bad thing doesn't change much. But like, what do you think though?
Well, what is good and bad, or good or bad?
That like our perception is so dynamic in its nature and not rigid.
I think that's a good thing. I genuinely think that's a good thing. I'm trying to think of a reason why, but because you get to experience.
Just to adapt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Because you get to do and experience so many things, and then I think it's the best way to get as close as possible to actual objective reality as we can. I think that's the only way, really.
A thought that just came.
Go for it.
I think we as humans, Okay, this thought needs to be refined a lot more, so don't question me on it too much.
Go for it. I am gonna question you because this is what it's about, bro.
Fair enough. Okay, fair enough. But okay, I think objective reality is quite primitive. Because like I'm thinking in the case of like animals versus humans, right? Like if a lion doesn't have to have a change in perspective. Like prey exists, he eats, and he lives.
No, I think they'll also have change of perspective. I don't think
Change
it's as
of perspective.
dynamic as ours, but I think it'd still be quite dynamic.
I don't think so because I mean I guess it like only to the point where okay this animal tastes better than that animal, but that's about it. I would say like in the sense of preferences of what they would like to eat. At that level of intelligence.
No, I don't think so because the environment always changes. There's always going to be something that changes. So I'd say for survival,
so
it still needs to be somewhat dynamic.
Yeah, so that's the point that I was coming to. So obviously they change their perspectives on the way that the environment changes, right? But we as humans live in two environments, which is the social environment and the physical environment. And I think the social environment changes way more faster than the physical environment does. Like the social environment is way more dynamic in the way that it operates than physical environment. So I think because of this higher quote unquote filter of reality that we live in, which is the social reality, which has caused us to become more dynamic in that perspective thingy. Like the way we keep changing our views and opinions on things because the environment that we live in, as humans, we focus more on the social environment than the physical environment more, which is part of the reason why climate change or global warming or whatever has happened. So I think I think it's a good thing because in the sense that obviously it comes down to adaptation. Like if we don't adapt, we don't live.
We don't live,
and we don't prosper. So obviously it's not a choice. We do have to change. And I think those who don't change get ousted out. Like are treated like outcasts. Whatever sense. Old school thinking and yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that also kind of brings us to the point of because we do have beliefs that haven't changed across thousands of generations.
But they would have still developed and still adapted and changed based on what happened to you.
Yeah. But let's say our definition of good and bad has pretty much not changed ever since it gained consciousness.
I have to disagree with you on that.
Yes, it has. I'm not saying that it hasn't changed at all. It has. Especially in the last few years, it has. Which I personally don't think is a good thing, but that's a whole other conversation for another time.
All right.
But on the whole, what we interpret as good and what we interpret as bad has not changed. Like in the sense of the intentions, let's say.
That's just another conversation, I think, because I'm gonna delve into that, and then we're gonna be here for another. How long has it been? Another hour.
Yeah.
Because the thing is about that. Well, number one is it's very putting it in a system of good or bad is so rigid, because there's so many other things that can happen. Like the context really matters when we're
intentions. As we said.
Exactly. Not even just that as well. But then, where was I going with this?
No, when I mean intentions in the sense that I'm saying context is the intention of the situation. Not of the person.
Okay.
The intention of the situation is basically the context.
Okay.
Is how I'm interpreting it.
No, I'm lost. I got lost there. I got lost there. I had
All right. Yeah.
something, I got
Maybe.
lost.
So, I mean, we do have a episode coming up of debating good versus bad and stuff. So
Yeah,
I guess we would
I got
dive
lost.
more into that
I
in
got
that
lost there for a
episode.
second.
Which stay tuned. We have a lot of interesting stuff planned. But yeah, I mean, I guess that does bring us to like our concluding point that how much does reality change my perspective? A whole lot.
Always.
Almost
Always.
all of it. And yeah, I mean, just to go through like the things that we had revelations on during this episode.
Logic is non-existent.
Logic is non-existent,
I'm
and
joking.
it is it is entirely based upon majority consensus, society as we know it, and societal norms, and as such.
I don't know. That does it. Oh, it's just another conversation. Because then you have like
I think-
observations, right? Because then you have like repeated observations where we see something happens because this happened, right? But
Yeah,
then I
so
guess
that's why
also-
no, that's
but
why
then
I'm
I
saying
guess
it's
that's also
yeah, that's why I'm saying
Mm.
it's not all of it. Obviously, I'm
Right.
saying the majority of reality, like
Right.
most of reality that we
Right.
experience, is perceptive.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
But that I definitely agree.
Yeah, and that portion of perceptive reality is based on major consensus, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
And yeah, we just realized how fragile life really is, but also not that fragile at the same time.
Because if it was that fragile, we'd be changing society immediately.
Yeah, I still think it's just very fascinating how humans still just go about their day in peace, while like, because as I think it comes back to that point that we're not like conscious about it, like we're not consciously thinking that, oh, I am interpreting this thing through my beliefs and yada yada yada. We just see it and we're like, okay, yeah,
That happened.
yeah, that happened.
That happened.
So it's not that we're consciously thinking about it. But yeah, no, but I do think that what was the starting point of this? I went on a whole noodle. Yeah.
We started before that. You were talking about
Because when I said, "Oh, that thing happened," my mind went to a memory of like student fair or something.
no, God. We were talking about that thing happened, and then
No, what were we talking about right before that?
and then right before that we were talking about.
I'm gonna feel so dumb when I rewatch this episode while I'm editing.
We're just going in circles and circles.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting.
Whatever. What I mean to say. What I mean to say. It's okay. It's okay. What I mean to say. What I mean to say is that life is fragile and not fragile at the same time.
That's where we started.
Yeah. So like
That's where
how
we
we can
started
just
at.
go about in peace, like while everything is so
Yeah.
quote unquote
yeah,
fragile.
Yeah.
right, because we're not consciously thinking about
Because
it.
we're not consciously thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that plays a huge role in why we just
Yeah.
go about our day as we do.
Yeah.
But I still think that doesn't avail the fact that it is fragile.
No, it is
the-
definitely
the- yeah.
fragile.
Yeah.
It is definitely fragile. So yeah, perspective has to be dynamic because that's the only way we're gonna be able to make it out alive. That's the only way we're gonna improve, progress,
Yeah.
move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So rather than, I guess, finding it more discouraging, I guess find it more encouraging
Yeah.
that
for
it
sure.
is that fragile and that easily adaptable.
For sure.
And yeah, I guess that really just propels us more to change in the better ways that we can.
I say always challenge the perspectives. Because if it comes out like and if that perceived perspective comes out on top regardless, I feel like that perception is going to be a bit stronger. I don't know if that's a good thing though. I don't know where I was going with that.
That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah,
I mean,
right, yeah.
again, it goes back to that good versus bad debate. So
Yeah. Main
Yeah.
point. Be dynamic.
yeah.
That's the best way to live.
Yeah, main point is reality is dynamic and we are as well. And I guess the more that we are conscious of it, the more we can capitalize on it. That's a good way.
I guess so. Yeah. Capitalize on it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I guess that brings us back to the end of not back. This brings us to the end.
To the ends
of this discussion. Obviously, this being the first episode, we were all over the place, but it is what it is. I mean, we just had to start.
It's gonna be inevitable. We're gonna be all over the
Yeah.
place in every episode because we're dealing with
Such metaphysical, abstract concepts.
very broad concepts, and we can't tie everything. In
I
a
think as
beautiful
the episodes progress, we are going to go
tie.
more into more like not as broad. You know,
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think it's gonna be just as challenging as today. Because
No, I mean, I agree. For the first 10 episodes, yeah, I would say that it is that broad because we're going to talk about uniqueness, about what's the next episode? How we judge people,
yeah,
right? How we judge people,
Yeah.
uniqueness, how we judge ourselves,
yeah.
and then like whole other broad topics. But I think later on we
It would be
go
more specific. I don't
more
know.
specific.
We're gonna figure it out anyways.
Yeah, either way, we'll figure it out. So, yeah, if you stuck around till this long to see two teenagers, I guess we're not teenagers
We're
anymore.
not teenagers.
Two young adults go
Long
through.
past that.
We're not long past that.
We're
come on.
old.
Bro. We're not.
We're unk.
Nah. I refuse to believe that. But yeah, if you stuck around this long to see two young adults just chat shit, thank you.
Yeah.
I hope, in the very least, that it served as entertainment, and I hope at the very most it served as enlightenment.
It should be. It's just us losing our minds.
Yeah.
It should be entertaining.
Content.
I would hope so. I would hope so.
Yeah. But yeah, if you would like to, of course, subscribe to the channel, leave a like. It always helps.
Subscribe, hit the bell.
Yeah, hit the bell if you want to stay notified about these things. I will not go into that because we haven't posted yet. So once we make a posting routine, I'll be like we post every whatever.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, yeah, hit the bell, stay notified, and follow us on Insta. We have an Insta page where you can get glimpses of behind the scenes and just photos of us just having fun.
Yeah, exactly.
And who knows? It might go and grow into something better. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, go on and head there. Obviously, feel free to comment your thoughts. If you want, you can even DM the Insta page. Your thoughts.
I think that would be better. Would it be better?
I mean,
I don't know.
it's more likely that we would see it if you DM it. But
probably.
that is if you like really want to be heard.
Probably.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, have a good day or night or whatever time of day you are at. You know what? I'm just going to end it off as a Truman Show, like good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, gentlemen.
And in case I don't
Ladies.
see you again, good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
Yeah. Peace.